November 18th, 1944. 13:47 hours. 18,000 feet over the North Sea, 40 miles west of Heligoland. Hauptmann Ernst Weber adjusts his oxygen mask and scans the sky through the canopy of his Focke-Wulf 190. The North Sea stretches below, grey water meeting grey sky in an indistinct horizon. Weather is closing in from the west. Visibility may be 5 miles and deteriorating. He's 31 years old. 47 confirmed kills. Oak leaves to his Knight's Cross. One of the Luftwaffe's most experienced fighter pilots still alive in late 1944. And that still alive part is becoming more remarkable with each passing month. Today's mission: intercept American bomber formations returning from targets in northern Germany. The heavy groups hit Brunswick and Wilhelmshaven this morning. B-17s and B-24s escorted by what seemed like every P-51 and P-47 in England. Most of the bombers are already gone, scattered and heading home, but stragglers remain. Damaged bombers, lost bombers, vulnerable bombers. That's what Weber's hunting. His Schwarm, a 4-plane formation, took off from Jever Airfield 30 minutes ago. 2 pairs of FW-190s, him leading one rotor, with Lieutenant Hans Becker as his wingman. Oberleutnant Dieter Strauss leads the second pair, with Feldwebel Karl Zimmermann. They've been vectored by ground control toward reported stragglers, but so far, nothing. Just empty sky and fuel gauges slowly unwinding. Weber keys his radio. Rottweil 2, 3, 4, status check. Becker's voice comes back immediately, young and eager. 2, all good. Still with you, Herr Hauptmann. Then Strauss. 3, fuel at 60%. No contacts. And Zimmermann. 4, clear. Weber nods to himself. Good. Everyone's awake. Everyone's looking. The problem with late war fighter operations isn't finding the enemy, it's surviving contact with them. The Americans have numbers, hundreds of escort fighters to the Luftwaffe's dozens. Engage a straggler and you might bag an easy kill. Or you might suddenly find yourself swarmed by a P-51 flight that was lurking in the clouds. Experience matters, situational awareness matters, and trust in your wingman matters most of all. Weber glances to his right and down. There, 200 metres away, slightly below, Becker's FW-190, painted in standard Reich Defence camouflage. Black fuselage bands marking a home defence unit. The young pilot holds position perfectly, scanning his sector, covering Weber's blind spots. That's how you survive. Never fight alone. Always have someone watching your back. Weber returns his attention forward. Cloud layer is building, cumulus at about 12,000 feet. If he were a damaged bomber crew, he'd drop into those clouds, hide, limp home below the weather. Which means Weber needs to descend, get under the layer, search at lower altitude where stragglers might be hiding. Rottweil flight, descending to 10,000 feet. Stay in formation, watch for bogies in the clouds. 3 acknowledgements. Weber pushes the stick forward. The BMW 801 engine note changes as the FW-190 noses down. Airspeed builds. The altimeter unwinds. They drop through scattered cloud wisps toward the lower deck. 9,000 feet, 8,000. Levelling at 7,500, just below the main cloud base. Visibility is better here, maybe 8 miles? The North Sea is closer now. White caps visible on the surface, and ahead. There. Contact, 11 o'clock, level, 5 kilometres, single aircraft. Weber squints through his Revy gun sight. Yes, a single aircraft, travelling east, lower and slower than a fighter should be. Twin engines? No, wait, single engine. Big, 4-blade prop, American. Identify contact, Strauss calls. Weber studies the silhouette. Single engine, single tail, that distinctive wing shape. P-51 Mustang, appears damaged or low on fuel, he's too slow, could be lost trying to find England. A lone Mustang separated from its group, probably low on fuel after escorting bombers deep into Germany. Easy meat. But Weber isn't a rookie. He's fought P-51s dozens of times. They're dangerous, long-range, manoeuvrable, well-armed. Even a damaged one can kill you if you're careless. Rottweil flight, will engage. 3 and 4, stay high. Watch for friends of his. 2, you're with me. Attack from above and behind. We hit him together. One pass, then we're gone. No prolonged engagement. Acknowledgements all around. Weber banks left, positioning for an attack from the Mustang's 6 o'clock. Becker follows, maintaining position. The P-51 continues straight and level, apparently unaware. Either his radio is out, or he's so focused on navigation he's not checking his tail. Fatal mistake. Weber climbs slightly, gaining altitude advantage. 500 meters behind the Mustang. 400. The American continues oblivious. 300 meters. Weber arms his guns. 4 20mm cannon, 2 in each wing root. At this range, one good burst will shred the Mustang. He settles the gunsight pipper on the target. The P-51 grows in his windscreen. He can see details now. Invasion stripes on the wings, US markings, even what looks like victory marks on the fuselage. 200 meters. His finger tightens on the trigger, and the Mustang brakes. 1,351 hours. The P-51 snaps left in a violent brake turn, nose dropping, airspeed building, pulling away from Weber's firing solution before he can shoot. Scheisse! Weber hauls his stick left, trying to stay with the American. The FW-190 responds, brutally fast roll rate, one of its best characteristics, but the Mustang is already diving, extending, opening range. How did he know? Weber never got closer than 200 meters. The American should have had no warning. 2, stay with me. 3, 4, keep your altitude. Watch for his friends. Weber shoves the throttle forward and dives after the Mustang. The BMW 801 roars. Airspeed climbs through 450 kilometers per hour, 500, 550. The altimeter unwinds. 6,000 feet, 5,500. The Mustang is diving too, but pulling out lower, skimming the wave tops now, maybe 500 feet above the water. Smart. Down here, Weber can't attack from below. Any fight will be level or from above, which negates some of the FW-190's advantages. Weather levels out at 1,000 feet, about a kilometre behind the Mustang. Close enough to keep visual contact, too far to shoot. Rottweil 2, report position. With you, Hauptmann, on your right side. Weber glances right. Yes, there's Becker, exactly where he should be, slightly behind and out, covering the angle. Good. With 2 against 1, they can bracket the American, force him to turn into one or the other. We'll split. I'll attack from his left. You come around his right. Force him to choose. Whoever he turns away from gets the shot. Verstanden? Weber banks left, opening distance to set up the bracket. The Mustang continues straight, hugging the deck. Low on fuel, Weber thinks. He can't afford aerobatics. He's trying to run for it. Not going to work. Weber circles wide, positioning. Becker does the same on the opposite side. Now they're both behind the Mustang at oblique angles, a classic pincer. Attacking now, Weber calls, rolling into his run. The FW-190 accelerates. Closing speed is good. The Mustang grows in his sight. 800 meters, 700. The American still hasn't turned. Committed to running straight. Big mistake. 600 meters. Weber's finger moves to the trigger. 500 meters. The Mustang brakes right. Weber grunts with satisfaction. Right brake, away from him, which means turning into Becker's guns. Textbook. He pulls out of his attack run, looking for Becker to finish the job, and the Mustang reverses. Instead of continuing the right turn, the American snaps back left, a brutal reversal, maximum G, wings vertical, the P-51's Merlin screaming. The maneuver bleeds energy, but puts the Mustang inside Weber's turn radius. For one frozen moment, Weber sees the American fighter nose on, closing the angle. Then the Mustang's guns flash. Tracers arc past Weber's canopy, orange streaks, close enough to see individual rounds. He brakes hard left, away from the fire, hauling the stick into his lap. The FW-190 groans, vision greys at the edges, the G-suit inflates, pressing on his legs and abdomen. The tracers stop. The Mustang flashes past, 100 meters away, canopy to canopy for a split second. Weber catches a glimpse of the pilot, dark helmet, oxygen mask, head swiveling to track him. Then the American is past, extending, building speed again. Becker, where the hell were you? He reversed too fast, Hauptmann. I couldn't get the shot. Weber swears again. The Mustang is 500 meters ahead now, low and fast, heading west toward England. They're losing him. Stay with me. We try again. They chase. 3 minutes of pursuit across the North Sea. The Mustang stays low, jinking occasionally, never giving a clean firing solution. Webber tries to close the range but can't. The Merlin engine is faster than his BMW 801 in a straight line at this altitude. This isn't working. The American is getting away. Webber makes a decision. Rottweil 3, 4, join on me, all 4 of us together. We overwhelm him. On our way, Strauss responds. Webber glances up and back. 2 dark shapes detach from the higher altitude, Strauss and Zimmerman diving to join the pursuit. Good. 4 against 1. Even if the Mustang is fast, 4 attackers from multiple angles will force mistakes. The reinforcements arrive, forming up on Webber's left. Now they're a loose box, Webber leading, Becker right, Strauss and Zimmerman left. We attack together, all 4. He can't evade all of us. They close formation, accelerating. The Mustang is 400 meters ahead. Webber lines up his gun sight. The others spread slightly, creating a firing formation. 300 meters. On my mark. Now. All 4 FW-190s open fire simultaneously. 20 cannon, 80 rounds per second of high explosive shells converge on the Mustang's position. The American pulls vertical. Section 2. The Dance. 1354 hours. The P-51 Mustang goes straight up, a maximum performance climb, nose pointed at the sky, Merlin engine at war emergency power. The sudden maneuver takes Webber completely by surprise. The firing solution that existed 1 second ago is gone. His cannon shells pass harmlessly through the space where the Mustang was. Webber hauls back on the stick, trying to follow. The FW-190 climbs, but not like the Mustang. The American fighter is lighter, has better power to weight at low altitude. It goes up like an elevator, while Webber's 190 claws for altitude. The Mustang reaches about 3,000 feet and rolls inverted at the top of the climb. For one moment it hangs there, upside down, silhouetted against the clouds. Then the nose drops and it comes down in a split S, building speed in the dive, pulling out heading back east, back the way it came. Webber loses sight of it in the maneuver. Where is he? On your 6, Becker screams. He's behind us. Impossible. They were chasing him. How is he behind them? But it's true. The vertical reversal put the Mustang back east of the German formation, and now it's coming at them from behind, guns firing. Webber brakes right, hard. Tracers slash through the space he just vacated. One of the other 100s and 90s, Zimmerman's, takes hits. Webber sees strikes sparkling on the fuselage. 4 is hit, Zimmerman calls, voice tight. Hydraulics damaged, breaking off. Get home 4, rest of Rottweil, reform on me. They scramble to regroup. Webber rolls level at 2,000 feet, searching for the Mustang. There, extending east again 600 meters ahead, back on the deck. 3 against 1 now, and the American has reversed the chase, making the hunters run. This pilot is good, very good. Webber's tactical brain is racing. The Mustang has advantages: speed, climb rate, energy retention. The FW-190 has advantages: roll rate, firepower, diving speed. The key is forcing the fight into geometry that favours his strengths. Rottweil 2, 3, we go high. Get to 5,000 feet, spread out wide. We'll use altitude and numbers. They climb, separating as they ascend. Webber goes left, Becker right, Strauss straight ahead. Creating a wide net, the Mustang can't watch all 3 at once. At 5,000 feet, they level out. The American is below, circling slowly, also looking for advantage. He knows he's outnumbered. But he's not running anymore. Why not, Webber wonders. Low on fuel? Can't make it home? Or just confident enough to fight 3-1? I attack from high right, Webber calls. 2, you come down from high left on my signal. 3, stay high as reserve. When he turns to evade one of us, the other gets the shot. Ja, Hauptmann. Webber rolls inverted and pulls through into a dive attack, a classic bounce from altitude. The Mustang grows in his sight. The American is turning, watching him come, trying to judge the angle. 4,000 feet. 3,500. Speed building. 600 kilometers per hour. The Mustang brakes left and climbs into Weber's attack. Head-on pass. Both aircraft closing at combined 1,200 kilometers per hour. Weber fires first, long burst of 20 millimeters. The Mustang's wings flash as its 6.50 caliber machine guns reply. They pass within 50 meters. Weber feels hits, hard clangs, something smashing into his right wing. His aircraft shudders but keeps flying. He pulls out of the dive, checking damage. Holes in the right wing. Control surfaces responding. Oil pressure, good. He can still fight. 2, your turn. Becker dives from the opposite side. The Mustang, having just passed Weber head-on, is vulnerable, nose still pulling through, energy depleted from the climb. Becker has angle, speed, surprise, the perfect shot. Becker fires, and misses. The long cannon burst passes behind the Mustang as the American does something Weber has never seen, a violent skidding maneuver, almost like a car sliding on ice, the Mustang yawing sideways while maintaining direction. The shells miss by meters. Then the Mustang snap rolls and is on Becker's tail. Brake 2! Brake now! Becker brakes hard, pulling maximum G, his FW190 turning tight, but the Mustang turns inside him. Those long wings, that low wing loading. The P-51 outturns the 190 in sustained manoeuvring. The Mustang's guns fire. Tracers walk up Becker's fuselage. I'm hit! Engine smoke! Get out 2! Bail out! Weber is diving again, trying to get the Mustang off Becker, but he's too far, too high, too slow. He watches helplessly as more hits strike Becker's aircraft. Black smoke pours from the engine. The FW190 rolls inverted and falls away. At 1,500 feet, the canopy jettisons. A dark shape tumbles out. Becker, separating from his dying aircraft. His parachute blossoms white against the grey sea. The FW190 impacts the water with a white splash and is gone. Weber's blood is cold. Becker was a good pilot, careful, competent, and the American just shot him down in seconds. 2 against 1 now, and Weber is beginning to understand something troubling. This isn't a straggler. This isn't a lost pilot low on fuel. This is bait. Section 3. The Realization. 1,358 hours, 4,000 feet over the North Sea. Weber climbs back to altitude, mind racing. Strauss forms up on his wing, the last remaining wingman. Below and west, the Mustang circles, waiting. Rottweil 3, be careful. This American is very good. Jawohl, Hauptmann. What are your orders? Good question. Weber has fought over 100 combats. He's shot down 47 aircraft. He's survived 4 years of war. But this is different. The Mustang pilot has reversed every attack, anticipated every maneuver, exploited every mistake. He fights like someone who knows exactly what Weber will do, before Weber does it. How? Weber runs through possibilities. Luck? No, too consistent. Superior aircraft? Partly. The P-51 is good, but not that good. Superior pilot? Maybe, but even the best pilots make mistakes. Something else? Weber forces himself to think tactically. What does he know? The Mustang appeared alone, flying slowly east. Looked like a straggler, but then broke perfectly when Weber attacked, like he was expecting it. The Mustang is staying in the area, not running for England. Why? Fuel can't be unlimited. The Mustang is fighting defensively, evading, counterpunching, but not pressing attacks. Why not press the advantage when he had Weber at disadvantage? Unless he's not trying to win. He's trying to prolong the fight. Weber's gut clenches. 3. When did we first see this Mustang? About 7 minutes ago, Hauptmann. Why? And where did he come from? Was he part of a formation? Did we see him separate from other aircraft? Pause. No, he was just there, alone. Just there, alone, in perfect position to be spotted by a German fighter sweep. Herr Hauptmann, are you thinking this is a trap? I'm thinking we should break off, now, head home. But he's alone, 2 of us against 1, we still have advantage. Do we? Weber looks at his fuel gauge. They've been engaged for 7 minutes at high power settings. Fuel is at 40%. Enough to get home, but not much more. How much fuel does the Mustang have? P-51s have massive range. They can fly to Berlin and back. If this one took off with full tanks and only flew to the German coast, he could have hours of fuel remaining. Hours to bait Germans into extended dogfights. Hours to study German tactics. Hours to... Weber's blood runs cold. He keys the radio. 2. Confirm your position. Silence. Rottweil 2. Acknowledge. Static. Right. Becker is floating in the North Sea under a parachute, not responding. 3. Confirm position. On your right wing, Hauptmann. Weber looks right. Yes. There's an FW-190, 200 meters away. Correct position, correct formation flying. But a small detail niggles at Weber. Something wrong. He stares at the aircraft, trying to identify what's bothering him. The camouflage looks right. Black, white, black bands. Standard Reich defense pattern. But is the pattern exactly right? The bands look slightly different than he remembers, and the aircraft's position, slightly behind and out, perfect wingman position. But Strauss is an experienced pilot. When did he ever hold such textbook formation? Usually he's a bit loose, a bit casual in formation flying. Weber's hand moves to his radio, but he stops. A test. A simple test. Rottweil 3, execute a victory roll. No reason for it, just a random order. If it's Strauss, he'll question it, maybe even refuse. Waste of fuel, unnecessary risk. Strauss is professional, but not one for show. The FW-190 on his right wing rolls. A perfect victory roll, smooth, controlled, wings over 360 degrees, rolling out exactly on heading. Too perfect, too smooth. Weber's stomach drops. That's not Strauss. He looks at the aircraft again, this time knowing what he's looking for. The camouflage isn't quite right. The green is slightly wrong shade, and now that he's focused, he can see the canopy shape is different. FW-190s have a heavily framed canopy. This one looks cleaner, more streamlined. It's the Mustang. The P-51, painted to look like an FW-190 at distance. German camouflage, false markings, perfect mimicry. And Weber just told it to execute a victory roll, which means the pilot now knows that Weber knows. The FW-190 on his right suddenly breaks away, rolling level and extending. As it does, Weber sees it properly for the first time. Yes, it's a Mustang, the distinctive tail shape now obvious. How did he not see it before? Because he was expecting his wingman. Because in combat, you trust that the aircraft in formation with you is friendly. You don't study it. You assume. And the American pilot used that assumption to shadow Weber for the last several minutes, watching, learning, studying German tactics from perfect position. Weber's hands are shaking with adrenaline. The American was on his wing, right there, close enough to fire, could have killed him at any moment, but didn't. Why not? Because shooting Weber would end the training exercise, and the American is here to learn, not to kill. How long was he there? Since when? Weber tries to reconstruct the last several minutes. When did he last get visual confirmation on Strauss? Before the attack on Becker? Before? Oh God, maybe from the beginning. Maybe the Mustang slipped into formation early and Strauss is somewhere else entirely, lost visual, assumed Weber had the lead, never realized. Which means the American has been watching Weber's tactics, maneuvers, formation flying, attack patterns, everything, from perfect position, for minutes. And now, Weber is alone. Section 4. The Reversal. 14:01 hours. The Mustang, no longer pretending to be German, circles 500 meters away, waiting. Weber is breathing hard. His tactical situation has gone from advantageous to desperate in seconds. He's alone. The American knows he's alone, and fuel is at 35%. He needs to run. But the Mustang is faster. If Weber turns west toward England and safety, the American will run him down. He needs to fight. But the American has proven superior in every engagement. Stalemate. Weber keys his radio, switching to emergency frequency. Any Rottweil aircraft, report position. After a moment. Rottweil 3 here. I'm at Angels 12, Grid Square Gustav Heinrich. Where are you, Hauptmann? I lost visual contact. Strauss. Alive. At high altitude, nowhere near here. He did lose visual, probably in the clouds, and has been searching ever since. 3. I'm at Angels 4, 15 kilometers west of you, and I have a problem. What kind of problem? The American has been flying on my wing for the last 3 minutes. I thought he was you. Silence on the radio. Then, what? The Mustang is painted to look like one of us. He joined formation. I didn't realize until now. More silence. Strauss is processing the implications. Mein Gott, I've never heard of that. Neither have I. Listen, I need support. Can you find me? I'm trying, Hauptmann, but visibility is poor. Give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Can Weber survive 2 minutes against this American? Acknowledged. Hurry. Weber watches the Mustang. It's climbing now, gaining altitude, taking the high ground. The American pilot knows Strauss is coming. He's heard the radio call and is positioning for whatever happens next. Smart. Always thinking ahead. Weber climbs too, trying to deny altitude advantage. Both aircraft spiral upward, each trying to get above the other. It's a classic positioning fight. No one shooting, just maneuvering, seeking advantage. They climb through 8,000 feet. 9,000. The Mustang is out-climbing Weber's 190. Damn the Merlin engine's high-altitude performance. At 10,000 feet, the Mustang levels out and turns toward Weber. Here it comes. The American dives, building speed. Weber waits, judging the angle. Not yet. Not yet. The Mustang opens fire at 400 meters, long range, but those 6.50 calibers put out tremendous volume. Tracers stream toward Weber. Now, Weber brakes left and down, using the FW190's superior roll rate. The Mustang tries to follow, but Weber is already rolling right, then left again, jinking violently. The American can't get a sustained firing solution, but Weber can't shake him either. The P-51 stays glued to his tail, matching every maneuver, always in position, always threatening. They fight down through 8,000 feet, 7,000, 6,000. Weber is burning fuel he doesn't have, pulling G's his body doesn't want to give, making his aircraft do things it wasn't designed for, and the American is still there. A burst of cannon fire from above, Strauss finally arriving, diving onto the Mustang from high angle. The American breaks off Weber, evading Strauss's attack. Weber gasps for breath, getting a moment's reprieve. 3. Good timing. I've got him, Hauptmann. You get clear. But the Mustang doesn't run. Instead, it climbs back up, engaging Strauss. The two aircraft merge in a turning fight, Strauss in his FW190, the American in his false-painted P-51. Weber climbs to rejoin, 2-on-1 again. Maybe they can... The Mustang reverses, gets on Strauss's tail, fires a burst, hits. I'm hit! Engine fire! Not again. Get out, 3! Strauss's canopy jettisons. The pilot tumbles out. Parachute opens. Another German pilot in the water. And Weber is alone again. Section 5. The Escape. 14:04 hours, 6,000 feet. Weber is running west, maximum power, burning his last fuel, trying to reach friendly airspace. The Mustang is behind him, not firing, just following, like a cat playing with a mouse. Weber's fuel gauge shows 20%, maybe 10 minutes of flying time, not enough to reach Germany, maybe enough to reach neutral Dutch waters where the American might break off. Maybe. He checks his mirrors. The P-51 is there, 300 meters back, matching his speed exactly. Close enough to shoot. Not shooting. Why? Weber keys the radio, not sure why he's doing it, but needing to understand. He switches to the common emergency frequency that both sides monitor. American pilot, I know you can hear me. Why are you not shooting? Static. Then, surprisingly, a voice. American accent, calm, almost friendly. Because I don't need to, Jerry. English. Weber's English is decent. He studied it before the war. You could have killed me several times. Yeah. Then why did you not? A pause. Same reason I've been shadowing you for the last 8 minutes. I'm not here to rack up kills. I'm here to learn how you people fight. You're the enemy, but you're also the teacher. Hard to learn from a dead teacher. Weber processes this. A training mission. Pure and simple. The Americans sent a pilot in a disguised aircraft to infiltrate German formations, study their tactics, and survive to report back. Brilliant, ruthless, and effective. You shot down 2 of my pilots. They shot at me first. I defended myself. You understand the difference. Weber does. In a strange way, he respects it. This isn't about killing. It's about learning, preparing for the next fight, making the next mission more survivable, which is exactly what Weber would do if he had the chance. So what happens now? Weber asks. You just let me go? Your fuel state is critical. You're heading west. You'll ditch in the water inside an hour. That's not a kill. That's logistics. I'm not following you to watch you swim. Very sporting of you. A laugh on the radio. War's not sport, friend. But it doesn't have to be murder either. He gave me a good fight. Taught me things. I respect that. The Mustang breaks away, banking left, climbing back toward altitude. Weber watches it go, that distinctive silhouette, now visible without the camouflage deception to hide it. He's alone in the sky. Fuel at 15%. He coaxes maximum range from the remaining fuel, lean mixture, minimum RPM, altitude for glide efficiency. The German coast appears on the horizon. He might make it. At 5% fuel, with the coast 5 kilometers away, his engine sputters. Fuel starvation. He glides the last distance, bleeding altitude, choosing a flat section of beach. The FW190 touches down wheels up on the sand at 200 kilometers per hour. It skids, throwing up sand, crashing through dunes, finally coming to rest half buried in a sandbank. Weber sits in the cockpit for a moment, heart pounding, alive. Then he opens the canopy and climbs out onto the wing. Ground crew from a nearby radar station reaches him 10 minutes later. They're shocked to see him alive. Herr Hauptmann, we tracked you on radar. You were engaged for 12 minutes. We saw 2 aircraft go down. We thought you were dead. Nearly was, Weber says. Get me to a phone. I need to call headquarters. Section 6. The Report. November 18th, 1944. 1900 hours. Luftwaffe Fighter Command Headquarters, Berlin. Major General Adolf Galland, General of Fighters, reads Weber's after-action report with growing concern. American aircraft painted in German camouflage, infiltrating formations, shadowing German pilots to study tactics, prolonging engagements not to kill, but to learn. This is new. This is dangerous. Galland calls his intelligence officer. Have we had other reports of this? Americans using captured or disguised aircraft? Not to my knowledge, Herr General. This is the first confirmed instance. First confirmed. But if one pilot is doing it, others are too. We just haven't caught them. The intelligence officer nods. Possible, yes. Galland thinks. The implications are troubling. How do you maintain formation integrity if you can't trust that the aircraft on your wing is actually friendly? Every pilot will start second-guessing, looking at their wingman with suspicion, breaking unit cohesion. Exactly what the Americans want. Issue a directive to all fighter units, Galland orders. New identification procedures. Visual confirmation of wingmen at regular intervals. Check for specific markings that can't be easily faked. And, he pauses, and we paint our aircraft differently. Change camouflage patterns monthly. Make it harder for the Americans to mimic us. Jawohl, Herr General. After the intelligence officer leaves, Galland pours himself a schnapps and stares at the map of the Western Front. The Americans are winning, not through superior numbers alone, but through innovation, through creativity, through doing things the Germans never expected, like sending a pilot to shadow German aces and learn from them. Galland almost admires it. If he were on the other side, he'd probably do the same thing. But he's not on the other side, and the Americans are systematically destroying the Luftwaffe through attrition, technology, and now psychological warfare. How do you defend against an enemy who learns faster than you kill them? Galland doesn't know the answer. Section 7. Debriefing. American side. November 18th, 1944. 2100 hours. RAF Debden, England. Captain Robert Lucky Thornton climbs out of his P-51 Mustang, the one with fake German camouflage spray-painted over US AAF markings. Ground crew swarms the aircraft, photographing it, documenting the disguise, analysing the effectiveness. Thornton is 25 years old, fighter pilot, 42 kills, but more importantly, experimental tactics officer. His job isn't just to shoot down Germans, it's to figure out how they think, how they fight, and how to beat them more efficiently. Today's mission was a roaring success. He's debriefed by intelligence officers for 2 hours. They want every detail. How he infiltrated the German formation, how long he stayed undetected, what tactics the Germans used, how they communicated, everything. Thornton describes the entire engagement. The German lead pilot, the one who finally figured it out, he was good. Very good. Probably 50 kills at least. He tried every trick in the book. And you beat him anyway? I didn't beat him. I survived him. There's a difference. He would have killed me if he hadn't been worried about his wingmen, his fuel, his mission. I exploited his caution. That's not the same as being better. The intelligence officer makes notes. Did you learn anything useful about current German tactics? Yeah, they're conservative now. Careful. They don't press attacks like they used to. They're trying to survive, not win, which means they're losing and they know it. Any changes in their aircraft performance? Nothing I didn't expect. The 190 still rolls better than anything we have, still dangerous in the vertical, but it bleeds energy in sustained turns, and the pilots are burning fuel at high power settings because they're desperate for every advantage. More notes. Recommendations? Keep doing this. Send more pilots with disguised aircraft, but vary the approaches, different camouflage patterns, different tactics. The Germans will adapt. We need to stay ahead of their adaptation. Agreed. Well done, Captain. Get some rest. Thornton heads to the officers' club. Other pilots are there, drinking, swapping stories. Someone asks about his mission. Can't talk about it yet, Thornton says. Classified. But word is already spreading. The pilot who flew with the Germans. The spy in the sky. By morning, every fighter pilot in the 8th Air Force will know about it. Some will want to try it themselves. Some will think it's cheating. All will recognise it as another nail in the Luftwaffe's coffin. Not through firepower, through knowledge. Epilogue. The official records, preserved in archives, document the impact. American infiltration missions. Begun experimentally in October 1944, by December, 6 pilots were trained in the technique, flew a total of 43 missions through war's end, gathered extensive intelligence on German fighter tactics, radio procedures, and pilot behaviour. German response. Changed identification protocols, camouflage patterns, and formation procedures. Increased suspicion and decreased unit cohesion. Exactly what the Americans intended. Effectiveness. Intelligence gathered from infiltration missions contributed to revised combat tactics that improved kill ratios by approximately 20% in early 1945. Captain Robert Thornton survived the war with 49 confirmed kills. Post-war became test pilot, helped develop fighter tactics for the early Cold War era, died 1989, age 70. Hauptmann Ernst Weber survived the war with 47 confirmed kills. Post-war emigrated to Argentina, worked as civil aviation instructor, died 1982, age 69. In his memoirs, he wrote extensively about the November 18th engagement, calling it, "The day I realised we weren't fighting pilots, we were fighting an entire system designed to learn faster than we could adapt." The lesson was clear. In warfare, the side that learns faster wins. The Americans understood this. They sent pilots not just to kill, but to observe, to infiltrate, to turn the enemy's own tactics into intelligence. The Germans, despite their skill and experience, were fighting the previous war. Tactics perfected in 1940 were obsolete by 1944. Aircraft designed for short-range interception were useless against long-range escorts. And pilots trained to be individuals, lone aces racking up kills, were defeated by an enemy that treated aerial combat as a science. Hypothesis, experimentation, data collection, iteration. One American pilot, disguised in German colours, shadowing a German ace for 8 minutes, learned more than 100 interrogations could provide. He saw how the enemy thought, how they communicated, how they reacted under pressure. And when he returned to England, that knowledge was distributed fleet-wide. The next day, every American pilot knew what that German ace would do before he did it. That's not air combat. That's systemic learning. And it's unstoppable.